All right, so welcome back to the channel. This is the EOS Network, and today we're going to talk a little bit more news. I guess you can consider this tech. It is about video games, and we're just going to talk about a little bit about Metroid Dread, the release date, which is actually October 8th. We're going to look at this article by whose article it's from. Excuse me, MSN.com, and then we're going to talk about the whole Metroidvania genre, how that name needs to really change. So the thing about it is that Metroid, this game was supposed to have been out years ago. Now I don't know the exact time frame, but this is supposed to be, I guess, the last Metroid, kind of the conclusion to the series. Now I'm sure that if this is successful, I'm sure they'll make other games, or they'll make other in between games, or they'll bring back Metroid Prime, or do a remake. That's what Nintendo does. They don't make new stuff. They typically just rehash the same type of games over and over and over again. That's why what makes the Nintendo Switch so successful are third-party games. So you have the Metroidvania system. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is kind of just mention a couple games, and I'm actually thankful for the amount of competition that Nintendo has now when it comes to these 2D platformers. Because Metroid, now granted, I'm not going to show any of it, the trailer, because of the fact that it's Nintendo. And Nintendo's super anal about who shows what. They don't support their players. They don't support people on their platform. That's who Nintendo have always been for their entire existence. So it's not going to magically change. Look who owns Nintendo. Look at the culture. It is what it is. So with that being said, basically, the point that I want to make. So there are other games out there. Like, for one, this one is called Dark Devotion, if you ever heard of that, right? Now, Dark Devotion is one of those games where you can't jump in the game. You cannot jump. But it's that 2D sprite-ish looking game where if you die, you lose your items, but you're able to level up and keep certain items permanently. But it does have a learning curve when it comes to fighting enemies. Bosses can get very difficult. You can die at any time. You can go through certain doors. You get cursed by certain items. You have to make it to the next saver to do A, B, C, D. So it's a really, really good game. I do suggest it for people that are interested in this. This is one of the games that you should definitely play. It is on Nintendo Switch. I'm going to mention a couple games that aren't on the Switch, just to show you how big the genre is. We have Death's Gambit right here. This particular one, I didn't finish this. I actually got to the last boss, but I ended up playing it over again because I was like, you know what? I kind of rushed the game. I might have skipped one of the bosses because you don't have to fight all of them. So I wanted to do everything. And by the time I got to the midpoint of the game, I was at a higher level than what I was originally. So I just had to fight the last boss. I know there's some DLC coming out for this game soon. Free DLC. I love free DLC. And, it's a great game. Like, it doesn't feel like Dark Souls. There's like a Dark Souls genre of games too, where you die, you pick up the item. This has that feeling to it, but it plays nothing like Dark Souls. You're actually in control of your player with no input lag, especially if you play Dark Souls Remastered. So this game is pretty good. Death's Gambit, if you're into that genre. We also have the classic, which is, in my opinion, Blasphemous right here. Now, I know they had an update recently where it had, I forget the female's name from Bloodstained in it. Like, I didn't do that part of the DLC. I did finish the game regular, and I'm going to probably play it. I think I have the new game plus mode, I forget. But Blasphemous was a really good game. It had that Catholic, back in the day, sacrifice vibe. People. That's a terrible explanation of the game. The point is, the game is very violent, very gruesome. It's a 2D side scroller. It has elements in it where you need to learn attacks. You need to learn how to counter. You can go through the game without countering. I wouldn't. It's not like Sekiro, I'll tell you that now. But it does have a pretty high difficulty curve for those that aren't used to this genre, right? Where there are some games out there where you can run past the enemy and not get hit until they swing. This isn't one of those games. You walk into someone, you're getting hurt. It does have a nice array of moves, a level up system where you find items throughout the game, up your health, different things. It's a really good game. If you haven't played Blasphemous, definitely do that. For those that love, what is that thing called? Dark Souls. Unfortunately, this game isn't co-op, meaning it's not local co-op or online co-op. You can sit with a friend and play with one other person locally. That's what I meant. It is local co-op if you're sitting with someone else and you just want to have two players. Like I'll pull a picture up right here. And you can have two players playing with you. And you do get to create your character and everything, but the created character isn't too, advanced compared to a lot of the games. But given the type of genre game this is, it's really good. The level system's simple. There's no level cap. So if you have a new game plus 3, 4, 5, 6, you can still join another friend. It'll obviously make the game too easy, but they do give you the option to do that. So this feels like Dark Souls in 2D form. It feels like it. What else do we have? I'll just throw one more game in there. We could talk about the Hollow Knights. Ender Lilies. This is one everyone should play. So with Ender Lilies, right? I was watching this game for a very long time before it came out. It was early access on Steam, and I said I got to get this game. And sure enough, when I played this game, let me tell you, this game was and still is fire. I'm on the new plus feature where you can have a boss rush feature now. They did some updates. They have a feature where you can do new plus game. Now I played on I started on Steam, but I ended up playing this on the Switch. I own it on both platforms. So I switched just recently within the last, I guess, no more than a week, got the update where you could do New Game Plus, where the bosses fight faster, they swing harder, they hit harder, even if you're level 100, which is a level cap. It's a great game. This is one of those games where I suggest everyone play. All right, so honorable mentions is, Bloodstained, Ori, Hollow Knight is up there. Not honorable mentions, but just other games out there that I'm just talking about in general. The games I mentioned, it's no, what's the word I'm looking for here? There's no category which one's better. They all have something to offer, and they're all affordable. There's even Morbid, something Acolyte. Let me see, Morbid game. Let me just type that in, see what pops up. There you go. Morbid, the second Acolytes. And the seven Acolytes? Here it is right here. So Morbid was also a 2D sprite game where you go through it, you fight certain bosses. These games don't tend to really have, like, Ender Lilies had a pretty good story. Hollow Knight was good with that too. Bloodstained, those are games that have dialogue. These typically don't. It's like you're going to point A to point B. Blasphemous had dialogue, you know what's going on, but it's not detailed like a lot of these other games. You got to kind of read the slips. Same with Ender Lilies. They tell you the story, what's going on as you play it, but you don't get the full story unless you go to certain areas, because Ender Lilies had 3 endings. So, spoiler alert, 3 endings. And you can beat each one in the same save file. So you don't have to start anything over again. You just have to do different content, different requirements for each 3 endings. And it's nothing crazy like don't go through the game without killing anybody. Something dumb like Metro Exodus. You don't have to deal with that nonsense. So that's actually pretty good. So anyway, back to Metroid Dread. The point that I brought all these games up is that the genre should no longer be called Metroidvanias anymore, because they pretty much, this article from MSN.com, they pretty much took over the genre. Metroid was what's the word? They've been dead for years. I'm just going to use that one. I mean, I thought about it. Metroid, Mega Man are some of the games that I want to see again, but they're never going to do that. They're not going to invest in these types of games anymore, especially if it doesn't make the amount of money they want. If they can make Mario and just put paint on it, or Mario football, or Mario hysterectomy, whatever it is, Mario games are going to sell. People play that. On the other hand, with Metroid, yeah, I wanted to see the end of this series. It's a shame for me to be morbid and say this, but there are people that were hardcore Metroid fans, and due to COVID or just growing older in age, they passed away. And it's like, it took y'all this long. But it's not like this is going to be a masterpiece. Let's be completely clear about this. I don't see Metroid Dread being a masterpiece by any means. I don't see it getting any awards unless they're paid for. I don't see it being better than Ender Lilies. I don't see it being better than Hollow Knight, and that's an older game. I don't see it maybe better than Blasphemous, possibly because of the atmosphere and just the nostalgia of playing Metroid. But from the videos that we already saw, it's a typical Metroid game, and that's fine. That's what I want. I want add some extra features, make it fast paced, make it smooth. Hopefully the music is good, because boy, Super Metroid's music was wonderful for the time. It's just like it has a lot to really overcome, right? And I'm actually thankful for so many of these indie developers, because if it wasn't for these indie developers coming out with a lot of these games, we would be stuck playing the same emulated games for 100 years, because Nintendo doesn't care enough about their customer base to either remake a game, which isn't going to take 20 years, reskin it with HD settings, which is the easiest thing they could do, and people are going to pay $60 for the games all over again, especially on a newer platform. They're just lazy. They're bums. They're like Madden. They just reskin. Every generation they might make one Mario game. Like if you notice, there's Mario Sunshine. That's it. Not Sunshine, Galaxy. There's no more Mario games. I mean, yeah, you'll add Mario 3D World and add a little extra mode to it, but that wasn't worth $60 all over again. That was just a way to justify putting the $60 on the price tag of Mario 3D World when you could probably get it on the Wii U for $25, because it was popular, but it wasn't that popular, where Mario running sideways, like the regular Super Mario U, not even U, Super Mario Wii costs more than that game. So again, I am glad for this game. Am I getting that new Switch? Probably not. I mean, I want it only to review it, which is going to be the same exact system with 64 gigs and a slightly different look. I'll probably end up giving my old Animal Crossing Switch to my wife if I do get it. But realistically, it's not necessary. It's not like the graphics are better. If anything, I would think the the Samsung OLED screen would probably make the frame rate worse, since the screen is doing more. That, in my opinion, like in the past experience of having phones, I never heard of a better screen using less energy. That I've never heard of that. If anything, I think it would be less smooth, but it's Nintendo. Maybe they perfected that. I don't know. But anyway, all I'm saying is that it's going to be a lot of different games out there that Metroid Dread is going to have to compete with. And I don't think it's going to beat them all out. Yes, the nostalgia, this is similar like Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, the nostalgia will make me come back to it. But I'm hoping that this is actually going to be a great game. Like, I don't want to play this and beat it in 5 hours, like just run through it. I hope that it's more content to it. I wouldn't even mind if it had multiple endings. Like you had to do A, B, C, D and not collect 100% of everything to it. And that's stupid. Like I hope it's similar to like Ender Lilies, not gameplay wise, but in the sense where I can go through the game, get the ending. But then there's secret areas I need to go to and content I need to grab, or I need to do this, I need to do that in order to get ending B or ending C or something. I don't think that's going to happen. It's Metroid, but it's just wishful thinking. But anyway, that's the video. I definitely look forward to this. Let me just read October 8th. Yep, October 8th, right around the corner. We're already in September. So literally in about 34 days or whatever it is, like another month, this game will be here. And trust me, I will definitely be playing it. Anyway, that's the video. I'll talk to you guys later. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And there is it.